you guys. Welcome back to another event that I have planned for you today. The World month-long celebration is starting to slowly come to an end, and I am very excited to have you guys here. We do have Medi with me today, Erik and Michael, that are two amazing people that are going to talk about the company, talk about the products that I use and love. But before we jump on into it, a bit of housekeeping if you haven't been here before and if this is your first event. So this is an interactive forum, you guys. Again, there's a chat function or a chat feature on Zoom, which you guys can just chat in and say hi to one another. A lot of you are starting to get to know each other just through these events, which is awesome. And I look forward to the camaraderie. I look forward to keeping you guys involved and keeping you part of this webinar today. There's also a question and answer feature that should be listed, that if you have any questions while we are describing these products, while we're talking, please do chime on in and get those questions in. And of course, we will either answer them on the fly or we will answer them at the end of our webinar. In order to get registered for this giveaway that we are having with you today, there will be a survey that pops up at the end of our show. So again, please do stay online while we hop off so that you guys get your names entered into the draw, which I will be selecting the winners on social media. And again, please stay posted to make sure that you are one of the lucky winners that I will be announcing. If you don't get the survey, there should be a follow-up email sent after these webinars. So again, please do stay in touch with those emails to get your name entered for the draw. And if you've completely missed it, just send me a message as you found me on social media, and I'll make sure to get everything sorted out for you. Whew. All right. Okay. So those are your instructions, you guys. Please help me welcome Erik and Michael to our webinar today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Great to be here. Thank you.
I very much appreciate you guys being here. Again, it means a lot to me to have two, I guess you guys have been working for Medi for quite some time. So two very knowledgeable people about Medi products, about their company. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Medi themselves, and then we're going to get right into our product descriptions because we have a lot to talk about today.
Michael, why don't you go ahead?
Sure. So I've been with Medi for over 20 years. I've done a lot of different things, from being a rep, so understanding the relationship out in the field, working with patients as well as therapists. And I've spent the majority of my career working in the lymphedema area. So I was one of the first full-time people in Medi working in lymphedema. So I've done different things, such as spend time out in the field, training reps, therapists, fitters on our products, how to use them, what they're for, the differences between them. I've worked in product marketing for those products and how we describe them, again, via literature, et cetera. And I spend a lot of my time now working specifically with the reps, developing them on a much broader product line as Medi has grown and diversified our product portfolio. So I'm somebody that anybody can certainly reach out to me anytime. My email is, it's my name, Michael C @mediusa.com. Happy to answer any questions for anybody at any time.
Thank you, Michael. Do you want to go ahead and just put your email into the chat? So again, if anybody wants to reach out to you, they can copy and paste it or save that for later. Erik, what's your story?
I'll be real brief. I also have been with Medi for a long period of time and have been mostly in the field, in the sales side of things, managing our sales force throughout all of our different product ranges out there, from venous health, orthopedics, prosthetics, all the way to lymphedema. And now, you know, sometimes when you complain a lot, you get put into that role. So now I'm director of marketing, so I handle all of our marketing tasks in the USA market, specifically across all products and stuff. So, but yeah, I've always been really passionate about lymphedema and find it really fascinating, and really, you know, really enjoy the people in this category that we work in. So.
I got to tell you that the lymphedema people, after a while, I kept on hearing there's some amazing people, and I think it's true. We're a very unique quality of people that, again, just are very passionate. We take a lot of care and concern into the quality of our lifestyles and of course the people that we help. And I'm extremely happy to have you guys here. So again, thank you so very much. Shall we just jump right into it, you guys?
Let's do it.
Okay. Who's sharing their screen? Is anybody sharing their screen?
Michael's gonna go first.
All right. So All right, you guys can all see me, and let's see, he's going right to, I'll go right into the history of Medi's lymphedema for, that's what we're talking about doing here, Erik. So Medi has actually been in the US, for example, since the 1980s, and we got into lymphedema really around the turn of the century. So around that time, we had only been selling circular knit. Then we got flat knit into the US. And a couple of things that we really focused on when it came to lymphedema and flat knit was having material that was very strong, as well as being elastic material that you could wash and dry. And then eventually we moved into some other options. But the next big step for us was adding Circade, which hopefully a lot of people are familiar with the Circade products. And we have had that product portfolio for almost 10 years. And Medi has had the wonderful opportunity of combining the use of, both product sets, from knitted products to wraps. So previously it felt to us like people were using either the knitted products, being circular knit or flat knit, or they were using wraps. And when we got the full product line, we were able to start talking to people about, hey, why don't you use both? And there's different times of the day and for different functions that you might want to use some of those products. And then most recently, a product that we'll show is our nighttime product that is a more padded product, and we can talk about a couple of the features that are newer on that. So that's kind of the evolution, really, in terms of the product line of how we got into it. And then, Erik, I was thinking we could talk about sort of the development of lymphedema phases. Did you want to move into that?
In the lymphedema field, they talk about a reduction phase, and then there's also the maintenance phase. Well, with Medi, we kind of look at it a little bit differently in that we include a reduction phase, and in that area, we talk about mostly our Circade products, which we have a reduction kit. I think Amanda's familiar with some of those. That's like our traditional Juxtafit product. Mike will show our reduction kit. This is like a alternative to bandaging. Bandaging is definitely a gold standard out there when it comes to reduction in treatment. But a lot of times therapists will incorporate a reduction kit, which is basically a trimmable Circade product that allows people to have just some flexibility. They can, if they a time crunch and different things, it can be a really good product that a lot of people are using. So in that reduction phase, we'll use that. And then also we have a product, a pneumatic compression pump that we have in the marketplace. So we have a couple different pumps that are a new one that's coming out here probably this summer. But we think about the Medi PCS pump in that reduction phase. And we call it transition phase, which is kind of a different segment. Transition is really that as a patient, transitioning into a maintenance can be really challenging, and sometimes there's fluctuation back and forth. Mm-hmm. So we call this that transition phase, and utilizing the Circade is a great product, or any kind of inelastic material that has Velcro adjustable wraps is a great transition product until you really settle into a good, solid, consistent size range. And then at that point in time is when you can really transition into what we call the maintenance phase, which there's a lot of different products there. Most notably, it's a flat knit or a circular knit compression garment is typically what you'll utilize in that segment there. So those are kind of some of those. Go ahead.
I'm going to jump in because there's a lot of information that seems very common sense to you guys because you're obviously in the industry, right. But there's a lot of people who are still brand new or may have had lymphedema for a long time. And the question I get a lot is, what product do I use? And I keep on telling people it all depends on the stage that you're in, or it depends on the goal that you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. So things like, I can talk about the Circade a bit. Again, not only do I consider this as a reduction tool and a decongestion tool, but it's also a maintenance tool in my world, because we do know, and I think a lot of people are aware that bandaging is the gold standard for, decongestion and to reduce, but bandaging is very much so an art form. And if you don't know how to bandage yourself properly, you can get into a whole whack of trouble. You can either bandage too tight or too loose, and either situation is completely ineffective. Plus, I do find that with bandaging, you do lose a little bit of your mobility. You are, especially if you're doing your feet and your legs, you might not be able to wear your shoes. So the Circade product is a fabulous product that you can decongest, reduce, and still be active, still get into your daily life. And there's flexibility because everything is so like Velcro, like everything just kind of snaps into place. And if you need to adjust, it's a lot easier than unraveling entire 20 feet long bandages and then rewrapping. So for those of you who are watching and you don't know what stage that you're in, this is a great conversation to have with your fitter and or with your therapist, and start to learn about these products as to why you'd want to use them during your lymphedema journey.
Right. And if I can touch on that, Amanda. So even when you move from a reduction kit to something like a Juxta-Fit, which is sized to fit you, because of that adjustability, you can still go down 10 to 20% and that product will fit you. You can even go up 5 to 10% and the product will still fit you. So by calling it a transition product, you still have some fluctuation that's going on. And the wrap products are ideal if you're not sure if you've completely plateaued, stabilized in terms of size or not. So that's the beauty of that product. And like you were saying, Amanda, you don't have to be an expert in bandaging. You can put it on and you know exactly how it feels. If you're decongesting, you can tighten it up so that you continue to get the same level of pressure, and it maintains that reduction and allows you to keep going.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. So what I try to talk to all my clients about is that you're going to have flare-ups. You're going to have good moments and bad moments. These garments have gotten me through a very large point of phase at my life, but also at my smallest. And I was able to have that flexibility because, as you know, if you get too big for your garments, they become obsolete. If you become too small for your garments, they become obsolete. And this is a fabulous product because it kind of, it takes you through that spectrum of being large and small within relativity, that is, to get you through those flare-ups or to get you through those moments. So again, I do absolutely sincerely love the Circade. So you guys, if you don't know about it, either send Erik or Michael a message or send me, and I will be willing to, or we will be willing to talk to you about this in more detail. And just to keep in mention, my calf, I don't have any functioning lymph nodes or valves or ducts in my calf. So my calf is the worst. So my calf is the one place in my body that constantly flares, constantly swells. This product is absolutely fantastic. Now that I've got my Velcros all lined up, this product is all fantastic at being in that place for me, especially for my calf, because I do need a bit more support in my calf, but I don't need higher compression or anything elsewhere in my leg. So I do use this as an added tool to keep my calf being in best condition, so I can wear my nice summer shoes throughout the summer seasons and the winter, I suppose, too. Anyways, does anybody have any questions about the Circade or the Juxta-Fit out there? We'll let you guys chime in on that. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention about the Circade or the Juxta-Fit, you guys?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you know, we get questions such as how long can you use a reduction kit? And the reduction kit is a product you can be adjusting a lot early on as you're reducing. So the beauty is you want to be making adjustments so that you're capturing that decrease in size and adjusting the product. For that reason, that's a product that may not last you 6 months. It may only last you 2 to 3 months because you're adjusting the Velcro much more often. By the time you start to plateau and you're wearing something more like a Juxta-Fit, you're not going to be making adjustments throughout the course of the day, and that product is going to last you longer. Many patients may find, even though we give a 6-month guarantee, that some of these products will last them 12 months or more. You know, patients will decide for themselves how long it's actually working and how well it's working for them before they actually go ahead and replace it. So
definitely.
One other thing I'd mention with this is that we have a lot of patients, again, I kind of mentioned it, is that transition product, is they'll use it a lot as a both day and nighttime garment during that period before you're really committed into, a flat knit garment or maybe nighttime garments, where this really can be one product where you're not investing a lot of money up front, and you can use it both as a day and nighttime garment, because you don't have to, because you can adjust that compression level. So you might want to cinch it down tighter during the day, and then at nighttime you can use a little bit less of the compression. So it's a really versatile product for that.
It truly is very, very versatile. I totally agree. Adrian has asked, is there a built-in foot portion to this Velcro garment?
It's not built in, but we have different products that you can wear. For example, you can wear a wrap. You could wear a product that we call a pack band, which is very basic, wraps around the foot up to the ankle, all the way up to an ankle foot wrap that covers more and will overlap with that garment. So depending on how severe maybe your edema is down at the bottom of the ankle, top of the foot, you may want something that's, you know, obviously more comprehensive. And also you can wear something with that, like a flat knit toe cap, you know, when you get into wearing a Circade product long term. And that would give you a much more customized fit, not just on the foot, but toes, if you have edema all the way into the toes.
Eric, do you have anything to add?
No, I was just searching for that product on our website. I'll share a couple of these links for you guys out here in a second. So
perfect. That's really great. And then also too, I know that we are talking about Medi, but there's also lots of other products in the market, and I hate to say it, but I do mix and match from multiple different compression companies. They do have foot pieces that you could also wear, you know, and this is what I've realized. I was doing a show, I guess these are shows with a different company or a different manufacturer, and they're getting really good at like arm sleeves, for example. And everyone's asking like, when are you going to do legs? And it's crazy because people don't necessarily understand the detail or attention to learning how to make these garments. And some companies are just fabulous at being in their wheelhouse. They're really good at doing certain products. And again, there's no shame or there's no harm at looking at everybody across the board and finding products that work for you that are going to support that type of swelling, because it's not as easy as creating compression. And if you understood what goes into making half of these garments, you'd have a totally different appreciation for, you know, why these catalogs are the way that they are. So again, don't be afraid to diversify. Adrian, I'm going to hit you up afterwards in case if you're looking for some other suggestions, and we'll talk business later and get some of your clients taken care of. Any other questions for these guys? But that was a really good question. Good job. No? Are we good?
Well, this was what I was going to go ahead.
Oh, no. And I was going to say, and these are also trimmable. So this is actually like a 5-piece or whatever that, again, I do have swelling in my glutes. I do like my Circade to go up a little bit higher. But when you do get yours, these are trimmable that you can actually, you know, cut them to your size, to your patient if you're a therapist. So they are a very versatile product, like Michael was saying. And again, they can grow with you. They can decompress you and decongest you. And again, if you don't know about them, the guys have left their emails address, you know, send them an email, shoot me a message. We'll be more than happy to help. But go ahead, Eric, sorry.
No, I was going to say that I was going to transition to the maintenance stuff and talk about our flat knit products. This is when I was going to share our screen, but Michael has actually some of the products that we have available there. But so with Medi flat knit, we actually have in the lower extremity, we have 3 different choices of fabric choices. So starting with the most containment, we have the Medi 550 product, and that, like I said, is the most robust, so it has the greatest wall stability out there. As you move down in containment level, it would be the Mediven Cozy 450, which still has some very good containment, but just has some more flexibility as far as maybe for people who have more mobility out there and want some more stretch into the seams and whatnot. And then the lower part where maybe it's more you know, earlier stages of lymphedema would be our Mediven Mondi 350 products, and those products all come in various different. I think we counted 12 different colors, several different patterns, obviously multiple styles and compressions in there. But what I've left here, actually, Medi Germany's created this really neat tool. I put it in the chat here, where it's basically garment builders. You can take the the color and the patterns and whatnot, and mix it together and kind of see what a garment might look like before you go to your therapist or before you go to a medical supply store or shop or wherever you get your garments. So I think it's a pretty neat tool, and we're building one here in the U.S. here right as we speak. So hopefully we'll have that here soon for people in the United States.
Right. And if I can touch on what you said, Erik, I'll add a couple more points because we do get the question about the materials. So 550, as Erik's saying, is most robust. It's got the highest compression class. It's for the most fibrotic tissue. So that's the most severe patient. Erik was talking about the cozy and the elasticity. So it has the most vertical stretch. If you're somebody that's moving around all day, I know, Amanda, you're very active. You work out, things like that. That is a product ideal for somebody who's constantly moving, stretching, changing positions. And Mondi, a lot of people forget that some of the properties in there are for like infections and wound care. It's a really high antimicrobial material. So patients who maybe are thinking more in terms of wounds or infections, that is really the ideal product for that type of patient. So people should be able to find whatever they want. I've even got some examples of some of the colors. What do you say I show a few of those, Erik?
I think so.
We like products. We like to look at things. So please feel free to hold them up and show us. And furthermore to the description, oh, those are pretty. Again, I have conversations with people all the time of understanding what stage that you're in, but also understanding what are you doing with these garments on? Are you going to be working out? Are you going to be wearing them in the office? But again, flat knit garments are really beneficial for containment. So if you really need extra support and that extra rigidity, you're going to want to look at these flat knit garments to further support the contouring of the leg. Oh, those are super pretty. Look at that. And again, if you don't know what flat knit garments are, just put it in a chat or say, I don't know what they are, and we'll spend a little bit more time talking about it with you guys. But again, if you don't know the difference between flat knit and circular knit, this is why we do these shows. Those are really pretty. I really like the colors on those. And
this one has a toe cap incorporated in a thigh high. So you can have a one piece from your toes all the way up to your gluteal if you want.
That is cool. Can you show that again, Michael? Because I know there's some people on here that are going to be super loving that. Again, people are just, they really, that's actually brand new. I didn't even know that existed, but that is fabulous. The fact that there's a thigh high that goes all the way from the toes all the way to the thigh and have that comfort for you guys. What a wonderful option. That one is a flat knit, Tammy. Yeah, you'd be good for that one. I was thinking of you.
And there's a standalone toe cap that, again, that's what we kind of knitted onto the other product. When you talk about upper extremity, sorry, go ahead.
Interrupt you real quick, is just also maybe show the knitting marks that we do. So like, especially in the foot and the ankle area, there's that transition area where there's a bend in your foot, and that can be a pressure point. So Medi, we call it a wide knitting mark. There might be one that has a better example. I always think that's a really nice feature to really show that you can see that there. So it really creates a seamless area so the foot and ankle and really allow for that transition, so we don't create that pressure point in that area. And then we do it the same in the elbow joint and things too. So they really, the Germans put a lot of thought and detail into things.
The feeling of your fabrics are always beautiful. I have to say, they've always fit me very, very well. Anyway, sorry, I'm just bouncing all those things. Go ahead, Michael.
It's okay. I always like showing a glove, and you can see that this glove is going to come down over the wrist, and it's got a pad. You can see the pad on the back of the hand, on the dorsum of the hand, that comes all the way over the wrist. For people that are concerned about edema, settling or pocketing right there on the joint, and the finger pieces in a custom can be made to any length. Not every finger has to be the same length. Sometimes on the smaller fingers, people don't want them quite as long. It's not as much of a problem area, so we can do that. Here's an example of a longer glove. We can go up onto the forearm a little bit, but we also have not only a pattern, but we have little dots that can be helpful for gripping things. So some people are concerned about losing some of that grip that they get with their hand. You can get very low profile silicone beads on the outside of it for people to help grip things.
Now that I saw those the gloves, do you get the padding on top of the dorsum of the foot as well too? Could you? Is that an option?
You're
Yes.
talking about you're talking about the padding. Yeah, absolutely. You can get the padding on the dorsum of the foot. Yes.
And what about the grippies on the feet?
You can get grippies on the bottom also.
This is so cool, you guys. I'm learning. This is awesome. So again, you can, okay, so now I've got a question. For the beautiful orange flat neck garment that had the toe cap sewn in, can you get the padding on top with the grippies on the bottom as one complete garment? Shut the door. Oh my gosh, that's it. See you guys, I'm out. I've got what I needed.
They're all custom.
The beauty is any product that you're building, if we've got the option, you can build it into your garment. So everything you're talking about, you can put them together. You can add as many of those individualized solutions that you want, or keep it simple.
And that's why having an amazing garment fitter that is up to date and knowledgeable is going to be your best key for success. So for you guys, if you don't understand what good compression feels like, I beg you, thank you for joining these webinars, but please also take part at getting good garment fitters and get involved, ask these questions, because it's just going to make a whirlwind of a difference at having quality of your life back in check. Because I know I hate wearing compression as much as I have to, but these products sincerely make the world of difference when they feel so good on. So thanks, you guys. Do you want to go back to those gloves? I got really distracted. Well,
this is flat knit. There's the question, is this flat knit? So everything I just showed everybody is a flat knit. We have some other products, but all these options and all these colors are coming in the flat knit custom because we're customizing it for you. You might not be able to see this so well, but top bands, there's a lot of different types of top bands. I've shown kind of the silicone. This is an upper extremity where you can get it higher on the outside part of the arm versus lower on the inside.
So it can sit nice and high up on the shoulder and come underneath the armpit beautifully. And you would do the same thing for a thigh high, that you'd put it on an angle so it can come up and not, because I know that was the biggest problem. You'd pull it straight up, and let's just say some of the fabric goes in places where I care not to mention. Yeah, right. It's not so comfy. Yeah. I actually have a permanent scar because the fabric used to grip. Yeah.
We see a lot of that. We see a lot of that.
So TMI, you guys, there you go.
So that's pretty much touching on a lot. As Erik said, there's more information if people want to go look at the website, and if they want to talk about it, they can email us and we'll talk them through anything that they want.
And in the survey, there is an option. If you want more information, you just click yes, and then obviously leave your email address, and I'll be sending the survey to Mike and to Erik. So again, they will be in contact with you. Some questions have come in, so let's quickly answer them, and then I think we can move on to the next product.
Sure.
Okay, so more information on circular knit and flat knit garments. This is a very common question that comes up very regularly. Do you guys want to take that? Do you want me to take it? Who wants to go?
Specifically, are you saying what's the difference between them?
Like what? Okay. Like what? Why? Like for the applications, people always want to know. And here's my 2 cents. Garment fitters will always put you in a flat knit because, again, they've always been told that it contains you the best. But there are some fabulous products out there that are circular knit that do a fabulous job at containment. So why don't you go into, that's your lead up sentence there, Michael, and then you can take over and again explain the differences and why people should look at these different types of garments and these different types of textures to contain their edema.
Sure. So basically, a lot of this comes down to the severity level of the lymphedema. If you have somebody who was just diagnosed and let's say they're a stage 0, which means there's really nothing visible, they've had lymph nodes removed, they know that they're at risk for swelling even though they don't have it. You can wear something like a circular knit as long as you fit into it, because circular knit tends to be ready-made. So ready-made equals a traditional, whatever traditional means, traditional size and shape limb, whether it's upper extremity or lower extremity. So that's going to be a product that doesn't offer as much containment as a flat knit. So a stage 0 or a stage 1, which stage 1 basically means the edema comes and goes. It's very manageable. It will go down on its own. So as long as the patient feels like it's under control, they can do it. But as soon as you're borderline, you want to go to a flat knit. Now, the other thing I want to share with everybody is you don't only have to have one type of garment. You can actually have a flat knit and a circular knit. You can compare them. You can wear them for different events, different times of the day, different outfits. If somebody tells you, here's what you do it 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of your life, I say you were just sentenced.
It's true.
That is a life sentence with no opportunity for parole. Okay. You don't have to accept that. If somebody says you have to wear flat knit 16 hours a day, there's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm going to see what happens if I wear 12. There's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm going to get a circular knit sleeve for when I dress up and it will maybe feel a little bit more lower profile or something like that. People should mix and match these just like they do other apparel. This becomes part of your body. This becomes part of your apparel. And you should find out for yourself what's best, because two patients with the same diagnosis can have a different experience with the same material.
And I'm going to jump in. So sorry, but again, I think we need to diversify our products. Don't just think one type of garment and one type of prescription stocking is going to get you through a lifelong sentence of having edema. Again, could try on a flat knit, try on a circular, see what the differences are. Sometimes a lot of people want to get flat knit, especially if you're going on an airplane ride and you want to have more containment because there's less atmospheric pressure. Sometimes you might have a very bad swelling day. There might be a ton of humidity outside and you're constantly getting very, very full. You might want to put on a flat knit. But if you're fairly, if you're good with your diet and you're good with your exercise and you're good with your self-care habits, you might prefer a circular knit for day-to-day functions because it's easier for you and it just feels more comfortable to you. Again, listen to your body, try both, and then you decide.
It's all about quality of life, and quality of life for everybody is a little bit different. For some people, it means they want that cheat where they don't wear it for certain events or certain hours of the day. And to other people, it means I've got to get maximum reduction. I've got to be at the smallest size possible, as long as possible. And at the end of the day, the happiest patient, the most compliant patient is the one who does what is best for herself or himself.
Thank you so much. So Julie, I hope that has answered your question. We're going to move on from that topic. If I can get to the next question, do you have garments for head and neck lymphedema?
We do not at this time. We think about different products at times, but we don't have anything on the radar just yet. So sorry for those of you that are looking for that.
We've yet to perfect the leg and arm. So until we get that, we do a great job with that. We just want to continue to do that, focus on that. I know that there's some products in the works for at least a torso at this point in time. We've gone down that path before. I think we've kind of learned from that, and now we've got some new materials and things to work with to address that location.
Hey, you guys are good at what you do. And I know, I think it'd be so cool because like the legs and the arms are so fast, like so awesome. It would be cool to see what Medi does for the rest of the rest of the body. And I'm sure it's in the works. Again, like you said, you guys got developed in 1980. There's still a lot of growth for this company to have. Right. And you guys are constantly perfecting the arms and the legs all the time. It would be really cool to see what you guys come up with. I'm sure you're going to knock it out of the ballpark, but you're just not there yet. Anyways, moving on, what's next?
So we talked about Circade products, we've talked about circular knit, we've talked about flat knit. Erik, I think it's time we talk about
the new profile.
Ooh.
The profile product.
I don't have one, you guys.
You don't have one yet. We're gonna have to get you to try this product. So this is an upper extremity profile product. So as you can see, it's a hand and arm combo. So the nice thing about this product is Medi had Circade products for years and we were happy with it. There were maybe some other products, maybe, out on the market that people were using for nighttime. And what we did was we took a look at what they had, we took a look at what we had, and we listened over a number of years to what people were saying they liked and that they maybe wanted us to have. So a few of the features that we came up with to put into this was, we have features such as, and it's really hard to see a product like this real clearly, but we have foam finger zones. So it's a custom option for more individualized compression on the fingers without wrapping the fingers. We have the option, really, this one has a thumb. You can go with no thumb and leave your thumb open because it's not a real problem area and you want to be able to use your thumb throughout the course of the day. So that becomes a challenge. Yes, Amanda.
Do the profiles for the arms with the fingers do the exact same with the toes? Do you get individual toe pieces?
So you're going to get, it just so happens, Amanda, look what I have right here.
Here we are.
All right, so you can see it's not individual toe pieces, just like this is not individual toe pieces. What we do is we make it as compressive as we can, but if people really are concerned about their toes or their fingers, I really want to recommend the Medi Flat Knit toe cap or the glove, because to really get those toes, you've got to wrap them individually, and material like this honestly is too thick. So that's where mixing and matching two different materials would make a lot of sense.
Definitely, definitely. And it's such a better option and solution compared to like wrapping each toe individually with gauze. So again, your toe caps are beautiful. So it's great that you can marry the toe caps with the profile. I jumped in. Keep on doing your demonstration. You guys get me so excited.
I'll interrupt.
Okay.
I'm going to interrupt real quick before Michael gets a little bit too far. So the reason why Amanda hasn't tried this product is we just this week launched lower extremity. So up until we launched upper extremity back in, I want to say July, and now have just launched the lower extremity. So it's available in both upper and lower. There's a off-the-shelf version in both sizes, and then there's customs in both. In our feedback when we learning about this product and what's on the market and what's not, one of the things was obviously comfort, which is especially keeping cool at night. So one of the materials that we've integrated into it is called burr fabric, which is the outer coating, and burr uses what they call a triple cooling effect. So it's just this material that's it's very lightweight, it's breathable, it's soft, and we're really excited about that material. The other part of it is that there's people who've used chip foam and different sort of things. What usually we call engineered foam, so they're perfectly cubed. I'm going to say they're like a centimeter in cube size, cubic centimeters, I want to say. Anyways, but they create these great helping break up fibrotic tissue. The feedback we've received from our trials have been that they just feel like they're getting, patients feel like they've got better therapy throughout the night without feel like they're squeezed more. So it's just like a firmer, denser foam than maybe what's been on the market before.
Right.
And for those people that don't understand the benefit of having night garments, again, they help with breaking down fibrosis. So if your leg is very dense, very full, stage 3, stage 4, again, this is what you'd want to start looking at to getting a night garment for you to help really break down that fibrosis and getting some pliability back into the leg. Sorry if I jumped in. Did I cut you off, Michael or Eric?
No.
No, that's perfectly
of course,
fine.
Adrian is wanting to know, is there a Canadian rep for Medi?
There are multiple reps for Medi, and I don't know their names. It's all going to depend on where it is. Eric, do you want to handle communicating?
Yeah, reach out to me and I'll connect with. I'm in touch with the people over there. It depends on what province
Yeah.
and different out there. I think they have, you know, a number of different people out there. So we can.
So Adrian, I'll make
that
sure to
connection.
put your email straight to Erik, and then we'll get you that information, because it just depends on region. So don't you worry, I've got you. We'll get you covered. So no worries about that. Continuing forward. Is a profile on the website now? Tammy wants to know.
I'm gonna send you guys the right here. I'm copying and pasting. I'm putting it into the chat right now so you guys can find it.
Thank you for sure.
It is.
And do you want to keep on talking about the profile there, Mr. Erik? I mean, Mr. Michael.
Sure,
Michael or Erik?
I will. I mean, looking at it, there's not a whole lot else really to see. The one thing I was going to touch on, Erik was talking about the foam in it. So by having these cubes that are all the same size, really it's allowing for better airflow. We found when we compared different size pieces and varied size pieces, you know, there's better airflow for cooling, and cooling is one of those things that people really want the most. And it's also the treatment of the material that we did a mineral treatment on the inside of the sleeves to help make it as cooling as possible to patients, knowing a lot of them are going to wear while they're sleeping.
Yeah, there's two other features on there that we need to mention. Is one is there's the easy on tabs. So there's tabs on it, so it can be hard to grab, so you can actually pull on the product much easier. You can see how there's those tabs. So applications for compression is always a challenge that we're constantly trying to outthink. But the other part is, and I don't know if you've got any examples of these, Michael, is it comes with we call it an energy oversleeve. So the sleeve is what delivers some more additional compression to it. That one's, I think that's black. There's a magenta color. There's what we call a blue giraffe, because Circade is I want to say our mascot, for a better term, is a giraffe, because giraffe have inelastic skin. So you'll always see that giraffe in all of our materials and things. So there's some fun of these covers, compression covers, to kind of add some more therapy,
right,
if you want to.
And these over sleeves all have holes, and the products all have buttons, so you can button it onto it and it stays exactly in place on the garment, whether it's a leg piece or an arm piece. So that over sleeve stays in place. It can add 5 millimeters of mercury pressure, or you can get one that adds 10 millimeters of mercury pressure.
Nice. I can't wait to get mine. Hint, hint.
You will. We think you're going to model it well, Amanda. Hint, hint.
Thank you. That was so subtle, you guys. All right. No, that's great. I'm always looking for different products. And again, I find that the night garment, specifically the ones that I do have or that I do use, they were always good at fibrosis, but of course they would decongest, or they would help you reduce in size. And then that garment becomes almost obsolete, because I was at a large stage using it, and then after a couple times wearing it, I decompress. So it's nice to have that extra additional sleeve that applies extra additional compression, so that it kind of grows with you as you keep on going further. Question though, between the custom and the off-the-shelf profile that you guys offer, if a client does reduce within 6 months of time, for example, is there a refitting option? Can these get resized in any way? What does Medi offer for those products?
Good question.
Thank you. Not my first rodeo.
You can.
There's
have
the new you guarantee,
remake.
Michael, right?
What's that, Erik?
The new you.
Absolutely, the new you. Yeah, the new you, the new smaller you patient is allowed to have a free remake of that product.
Yes. Within what time frame?
A year.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome.
You just got to make sure you register the product, though. There's a registration card that goes in each product, and there's a form to fill out just to register the product to be qualified for that. So just make sure you register.
Any other warranty that we're used to.
That's great. Thanks, Medi. Good job. Thanks. I love Medi. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's been 45 minutes. Are there any other products? I told you this would go by fast. Are there any other products? What else do you want to talk about?
The good news is I didn't bring anything else, and thank
Yes.
goodness, because we're out of time.
Fair enough, but I also want to say we talked a lot about the flat knit garment, so we didn't talk about circular knit.
Yeah.
So really quickly, I'm going to just kind of hop back a couple conversations and let you guys know that all of the options with the flat knit garments also come available in their circular knit garments. Again, beautiful fabrics, beautiful quality, and they have different. I brought mine because, of course, I had to. Just oops. Oh shoot! I brought the box with the garments for upstairs. I find that Medi has been able to take me from being in the gym, I guess my gym is behind me that you can't see. But I do wear, like, these are Medi Fort that I do wear all the time when I train. But then once in a while, I'll go out and I'll wear a dress or I'll wear a skirt. And I do wear the Medi Elegance, which is like a pantyhose style garment. Again, different fabrics, different textures, providing the same amount of compression, but they look different for the functionalities. So you guys, I think what we all agree here is that try different products, get to know what's in the catalog, get to feel these materials, get to put them on, and start to understand at what point in time are you going to wear these? Are you wearing them in the office? Are you wearing them for formal wear? Are you wearing them in the gym? Are you wearing them at nighttime? A lot of these garments are made to get you through all avenues of your life. And if you don't know what exists out there, it is your job to try to take this challenge and get involved in your compression.
Right.
Okay, I'm done. Okay.
Right.
With that being said, you guys, I don't think any other questions are coming in because we were just so awesome. But if you do have questions or if you want more information, I know that there's a lady that commented and wanted more information about getting a rep in Canada. There is a survey coming your way. There are spaces for you to type any questions that you may have. Just fill in that information so that we can be thorough at getting in contact with you. But if you don't have any questions, I think we did a fabulous job, you guys. And even though that we didn't do a screen share, I think this is way better. We got to touch and feel these products. So again, I like that a lot better anyways. I hope this webinar did help you and point you in the right direction and taught you something that you didn't know. And you guys stay on. We're going to hop off so you guys can fill out your survey. So again, that will be your ballot to register for the free giveaway that will be announced on my social media. So please do stay tuned. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you to Medi. Thanks, Erik. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for all you guys watching. I still have a few more events for the couple days of March. If you don't know about it, they are on my Facebook page under the events section under am.sobey. You can also find me on LinkedIn at am-Sobey. And if you need more information, you know how to find me. And again, Michael and Erik given their emails, jot them down. And thank you so much for being part of these webinars. I sincerely appreciate it. But that is all for tonight. Thanks, you guys. Here's my famous wave.
There it is.
Thank you.
All right. Bye now.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.